And good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. This is Morning Joey. I'm your host, Joey Molinaro. Thanks so much for waking up with me. Hope your day's off to a fantastic start. We're 1 week away from the NFL draft. Can't wait. You know what it is. 1 week away from the NFL draft. Long awaited, much discussed. If you haven't checked out Going Deep, the other podcast that I'm on at Barstool Sports, we talked with Daniel Jeremiah, lead NFL draft expert, this week on the show for about 35 minutes. We talk Mac Jones, Justin Fields, who's his sleeper pick, what team is going to trade up, why do they need to trade up? I mean, everything you can think with the draft. We talk with DJ about that. So check that out on wherever you get your podcasts or on our YouTube channel, Going Deep. So getting you prepared for the NFL draft, one of the best nights of the year, a week away. Very, very excited about that. For those watching on YouTube, you know the deal. If you haven't subscribed yet, need you to subscribe, like this video. For those watching on Twitter, good morning. I appreciate you as well. Go over to YouTube, catch up on everything later, and subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/c/cupofjoey. As always, I appreciate it. I talked about it yesterday. We have new merch. We have new exciting merch. And it's even more exciting because we are less than 10. We're in single digits away from the month of May. Yesterday, and we're going to talk about this more, they officially announced capacity for this year's Indy 500. It's going to be on schedule. We're going to have it in May. We're going to have it where it's supposed to be, the last weekend of May, Memorial Day weekend on that final Sunday. And, I guess this year it's not the final Sunday. Let me check and see. Anyways, it's Memorial Day weekend Sunday. It is the final Sunday, May 30th. I got to show you, as always, share screen. The merchandise that we got, the link below to buy t-shirt. It's a pocket tee. It's got the Barstool Indy logo. It's got the pagoda with the state outline on the back, and then the yard of bricks leading up to it right there. So it's an awesome shirt. You got the long sleeve version of it. You got the hoodie version of it. So you got it all, man. You got it all. And every time I click on it, like I talked about yesterday, I see more and more people who are buying it and where they're from and everything like that. So it's popping off the shelf. There's Big Cat, very good. It's popping off the shelves, whether it's the hoodie, the long sleeve, or the short sleeve. So go to the link on YouTube in the description below. Click that and get yourself some Indy 500 Barstool Indy merchandise. I think it's the first Barstool Indy merchandise that's dropped, and it's true to home. Back home again in Indiana. Can't wait to hear that here in about 5 weeks or so. So yeah, go do yourself a favor, and when you're subscribing to the channel, go click on that link and get you some merch. Stop sharing there. Yeah, how about this awesome fucking Cubs jacket that I got right here? I mean, this thing is sick. Got it yesterday. Like I said yesterday, I had a long sleeve that was a large that I brought back, and I said I'm gonna try it on, and then I tried it on, and apparently I had 4 meatball subs before I ate that because I was poking out of it everywhere. It was a tight, dry fit Under Armour type of deal. Didn't think it was going to be that. So I took it back yesterday before the game. I got this sick little number. It's like a windbreaker jacket, little old school throwback feel. Love the colors. So, I mean, this fucking jacket, man, it looks good. That's how I feel when I'm walking around wearing this jacket. I feel like I walk out the doors and people... Yeah. It's so funny that there's like people who are watching at work or at school, and then they have to hear that and they're like, oh shit. So sorry about that, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Cubs are 2-0 since I've been here. I said after Tuesday night's game, I was like, well, I want to know why I'm here. Guess I got to move here now. And then last night they put up 16 runs. Javi Baez, Carl was talking about it with me yesterday. Carl was like, got to get Javi going. If we don't get Javi going, then everything's going to fall apart and they're going to trade away everybody. But if you get Javi going, he's the key. And this could be a playoff team. But again, if he keeps fucking striking out 3 times a game, then they're going to trade away KB. They're going to trade away Wilson Contreras, and it's going to suck. So last night, this is a good start. Broke out, grand slam, 16 runs. Got out of that little slump from Tuesday night. Javi did with the 4 strikeouts, the golden sombrero. And he parked it out there, man, in the left field bleachers. It was a bomb. Absolute jack. So Cubs are 2-0, and I'm not going to lie. I thought about re-upping. On where we're staying, checking out some Airbnbs, seeing if we could go. Because right now they're 8-9. Got DeGrom pushed back to tomorrow, so you don't have to face DeGrom in the Mets series. Going for the sweep tonight, or is it a day game? I think it's a night game. I think all of them are night games this week. But they're going for the sweep. They've already won the series. They're 1 game away from 500. And honestly, I talked about it on Redline Radio, which I think should be out today. We were talking about on Redline Radio. It's kind of a miracle that the Cubs are where they are right now because they have been ass. And so for them to be 1 game under 500, 6:40 Central, 7:40 first pitch tonight for the Cubs to get back to 500. Trevor Williams and Joey Lucchesi going for the Mets. Trevor Williams for the Cubs. He's been really good at home. Trevor Williams has. And now all of a sudden the Cubs are third in the NL Central. So you win tonight, you're 500, you're third in the NL Central. You know, you haven't even left May yet. You're getting out of the cold weather. And, your bats are getting hot at just the right time, dude. So I'm excited. People are asking me all the time on this show. Everybody's like, are the Cubs dead? How's it feel for the Cubs to be dead? Are you miserable? How miserable they make you? And I said, no, that's not. You can't focus on that anymore. I'm done on my days. I'm too old now to focus on the negative, right? We're just going to stay positive and we're going to test negative. That's what we're going to keep doing. And I was talking about it last night. I went to dinner with my wife and one of her friends in Chicago. And I was saying, like back in the day, I used to just get really, really torn up and devastated by like every loss for each of my teams. But I'm not doing that anymore. I'm enjoying having them. And I think last year taught all of us a good lesson in terms of that with sports, right? We went so long where we didn't have the Cubs. We went so long when we didn't have basketball. We got the NFL fully, but just the idea of, man, this is what it's like to have April, May, June and have no Cubs to watch. And I'm not going to forget that. I'm going to enjoy the highs as much as I can, and then we're going to let the lows roll off of us, and we're going to go on to the next one, man. You got to have that mentality. I'm a Cubs fan. I used to be a Bud man, and I'm just excited to watch them. I'm excited to have them out there day in and day out, something to look forward to, and we're going to keep grinding this thing out, man. These guys are too good. They've been around for too long. I'm going to keep keeping the faith. I'm going to keep rocking this sick jacket. And, we're 1 game away from 500 and not even out of April yet. We're just getting things figured out. So, no, Cubs don't make me miserable. And, no, I don't feel bad about it. Hey, good morning, Andrew. Are you Dunkin' or Starbucks? I'm a Starbucks guy. Yes. Not leaving. Cubs at 4. Morale. I'm with this, man. I like this. I like A-Bed's 15s mentality. Get to 500. Brewers coming to town at Wrigley. Weekend series. Anything goes, man. Anything goes. And that's what it's all about. You ride or die, man. You ride or die, because then when those highs are there, it's so fucking high. And then, like I said, the lows, you let them roll off you. You got to have a quick memory, You got to have amnesia as a fan, dude. You got to go on to the next one and just be like, hey, I get to watch Cubs baseball today. We're going to turn it around. Because it's just, and it's funny, like Frank the Tank and White Sox Dave and guys like that, like they are funny as fans, right? Because everything is so dramatic. And Frank the Tank has already said that the Mets are going to like finish in last place like 300 times in the last 2 days. And it's funny, right? You need those kind of fans. But I am just not that. I'm not going to be that kind of fan. I'm going to keep riding with my squad. And yeah, if I need to call them out, like I did with the Steelers when they were struggling in the fall, I'm going to call them out. But at the same time, I'm always going to have their back. They're family. I can talk shit about them if I want. But as soon as somebody comes at me about them, I'm going to have their back. So I'm feeling good about the Cubs, man. I might not leave. Like Dom says, I'm not ever leaving mentally, but physically in Chicago, I'm not going to lie. If I get back to Indy tonight and they lose, I will 100% feel that on my shoulders. I will feel that blame. I will carry that cross because 2-0 against a pretty solid Mets team, even though the Mets looked like total ass, man. Wow. This montage that they put together, we got to pull it up. This montage that they put together was just like, were they 1919 Black Sox in it? I mean, what the hell was going on? Watch this montage for those who didn't catch the game, or for those who aren't a Mets or a Cubs fan. You gotta. I mean, this is crazy.
Javier Baez, who hit the ball hard his first time, grounds one to third, a chance for two, but it's bobbled by Davis, and they get nobody. 0-2 coming to Bodie, and the slider popped up, going back McNeil, and it drops in for a base hit. And 2 runs are going to score, and it goes to the backstop, and the runners will move up as Peterson chases it down. And he grounds one past the mound. Lindor to his left. He bobbles it and loses the play, then throws it away as a run comes home. Trying for second now is Happ. He'll try and get back to first. The flip to Alonso, and they make the tag to end the inning. Wilson Contreras got it started for the Cubs in that inning, and he hits one on the ground toward the middle, and a little confusion between McNeil and Lindor. Contreras is going to try for 2, and he's going to make it safely as the Mets continue. Javier Baez.
Like, I mean, what a loop, man. Because some of the first one is funny because it was hit right at him, right here, right?
Javier Baez, who hit the ball hard his first time.
It's hit at him, he boots it, right? I mean, it just hits off the heel of his glove and he boots it. But a few of those that are up the middle and like that pop up, I mean, they just weren't even trying. You know what you need to do for this? This is immediately what I thought of, and I wanted to save it for the show this morning. Here we go.
Bobbled by Davis, and they get nobody. Going back to deep, and drop it for base hit. And 2 runs are going to score. And it goes to the backstop of the next inning. Peterson chases it down. That one past the mound. Laporta was laughing. And said, so
I mean, like, so, I mean, at this point with this one, what's funny is that Happ almost gets back to the bag here.
And he grounds one past the mound. Lindor to his left. He bobbles it and loses the play, then throws it away as a run comes home.
Like all this shit, and he almost makes it back. There's right there.
Get back to first. The flip to Alonso, and they make the tag.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad too when the color analyst, the color commentator, he just like lets out a reaction without even realizing it. Like it's so bad that he can't help but let out a visceral reaction.
And he grounds one past the mound. Lindor to his left. He bobbles it and loses the play.
Whoa! Since Lindor threw it halfway up the first baseline, the color commentator.
He bobbles it and loses the play.
Oh, dude! When they're just like running, I mean kudos to me for pulling that up and bringing. But also, you could do. These are the ones that everybody thinks of, right? Of course, there's an ad, and it's the long one. Come on, YouTube, read the room, man. Read the freaking room. about though is like McNeil was this one
coming to Bodie, and the slider popped up.
Like I don't think McNeil could have gotten there. I know there's one out, and so he's trying to hold the runners and act like it's coming to him. You know what I mean?
Going back, McNeil, and it drops in for a base hit. And 2 runs are going to score.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, if he just would have like hauled ass, he maybe could have caught that.
Coming to Bodie,
boom, take off, run, sprint, get there.
Back, McNeil, and it drops
it would have been close.
Hit.
Anyways, dude, the Mets, the Cubs, I tweeted it. They put the ball in play, and that's good. You put the ball in play, good thing's going to happen. Now get the elbow up. But and the Cubs went yard a few times, Javi with the grand slam. But the Mets look bad, man. They look just like so uninterested and like they didn't want to be there at all. Morning, Matthew. Morning, Chucky. They just look disinterested. Like Lindor up the middle is just like all he could focus on was it was fucking freezing cold outside, so I don't really blame him. Hey, good morning, man. But he just looks so disinterested. It was just like, dude, I don't want to go make any play. I'm so cold. I can't do anything. This is miserable. But, hey, we'll take it, dude. We'll take it. I hope they keep having that mentality, right? I hope they keep having that mentality tonight. And if they don't and I leave and the Cubs drop this one, I know it'll be on me. So I'm telling you now, I know it'll be on me. NFL draft a week away. Very excited. Was looking at some more mock drafts this morning. I released the Connor video again. For those about to mock, you know what I'm talking about. But like I said, we're a week away. I made the promise last week, a week away. And if the Steelers are able to draft Justin Fields, I will get my hair cut, and then I will get it cut into a mohawk that makes me look like a rooster. I tweeted out the picture. You can freezing cold takes me. You can do whatever you want. Hold me to it. It's a win-win for me, right? Because if they draft Justin Fields, then I'm happy. But then too, if I have to get my hair cut, then all you guys are happy. You're happy and you think it's funny that I look like a rooster, like Clark Griswold would say. So just a reminder, a week out from that, can't wait. And if they somehow are able to trade up and get Justin Fields, Joey will come on Morning Joey the next day, previewing rounds 2 and 3, and I will look like a rooster. So very, very excited about it. All right, let's get what's on your feed, what you missed on your feed while you're having your morning cup of Joey. 40% at the Indy 500 next month. It's going to be on as scheduled. May 30th, Memorial Day weekend. Last year we had to push it back to August. This year we're going to have fans at the racing capital of the world. And 135,000 of them, 40%. That's 135,000 fans. So for those of you who aren't familiar with IMS, not familiar with Indy or the Indy 500 who are watching this, that's how big that place is. Less than half of it is 135,000 people. That's 30,000 more people than the Big House in Michigan when it's fully filled. And that's less than half of what they can normally fit when we're not in a pandemic or on the back end of a pandemic. 40% at the Indy 500, 135,000 fans. We're going to have Back Home Again in Indiana again. I'm going to be crying grown man tears because I love that song and I love that 30 seconds, like Doug Bowles says, president of IMS, I think. Like he says every year, that's his favorite 30 seconds of the year, Back Home Again in Indiana. And I'm right there with them. Sun's shining, balloons are being released, everybody's in there, Back Home Again in Indiana comes on, and all of a sudden, I'm 4 years old crying on my mom's shoulder. So that's good. Not the crying part, but the 40%, 135,000 fans. But unfortunately, year number 2, second consecutive year, that they're not going to have any Carb Day festivities, any concerts on Friday or Saturday. None of that's going to be happening. So that is unfortunate. That's a big bummer. Carb Day is one of the top 3 days of the year in Indianapolis, I'd say. I mean, a lot of people would put it number 1 for sure. But no carb day. So a bummer at IMS for that, but I'm thinking that opens up an opportunity. Maybe I can get working on something. You never know. Maybe I got some stuff up my sleeve of maybe a little carb day Barstool party. We can slide in and make it happen. I just thought of it this morning when I woke up and was scrolling and saw that there weren't going to be any carb day festivities at the track. I was like, well, something's got to happen. Somebody has to fill that void because people look forward to that too much. They look forward to that day too much. It's too important to the people of Indianapolis and for racing fans to have something on carb day. People like take that. It's like in their off day. And honestly, a good amount of companies around Indianapolis will at least do like a half day or something. Like it's just like an understanding that carb day is there and it's the weekend of the race. And so people are just kind of like, yeah, it's carb day. But, and tons of people usually take it off. So something needs to happen to fill that void. And I would love to be that. I would love to be that void. Now we know when, but now where and what does it look like? Haven't figured that out yet. But I think it's a good opportunity. And so if IMS can't do it, then somebody's got to do it. So keep an eye out for that, If you have any recommendations, you have anything that you'd like to do, if you're an Indy folk or, if you're a racing fan, you're coming to town, hit me up. Let me know. And then I can kind of brainstorm and collab and get to the people who need the information and then make it happen. Because it's not carb day in Indianapolis without something crazy going on. Just checking in on the dude, get out of here. There we go. No, that's nice. I just figured that out. You got to come in here and be a fucking idiot. I'll just block your ass. My wife's over there looking at me. I had some guy making penis emojis and stuff in the comments, so I said, get out of here. I tossed his ass like I was umping at Wrigley Field. Probably not great on the mullet. My wife and my mom would probably kill me if I got one. Although a lot of people would say that I already do have a mullet. So, people confuse it with a mullet all the time. I wouldn't say it is. I'd say it's just long hair. So maybe I go that way. But either way, I'll get some sort of crazy haircut. Let's get into it. That's what I was about to get into. Atom. So Peter King reported that before the Colts decided to trade for Carson Wentz, before they made that trade final and really pushed it over the top, that they did reach out to Andrew Luck to at least do their due diligence and give him a call, see where he's at mentally, see where he's at physically, and see if there's any chance if he would want to come back and has an itch to play again. So it's from Peter King, very, reliable NFL source, one of the biggest NFL sources. Says the Colts checked in with Luck before they traded for Carson Wentz to see if he would come back. Now, I talked with Chris Ballard on the first show of this back on March 1. He didn't really give any indication of that. Just Chris Ballard strike me as a guy who would keep, dragging his heels for Andrew Luck and making these moves for the franchise to decide that, he wants to try and bring him back, No, Chris Ballard doesn't strike me as that guy. Chris Ballard strikes me as Andrew's retired. We're operating as such. It's my job to put the best football team together that I can, and that is without Andrew Luck, and I'm going to keep doing that and focusing on that. Now, does it seem like a Jim Irsay thing? 1,000%. 1,000%. It seems like anything that was going to happen with the quarterback position at any point. I feel like Jim Irsay may call Andrew Luck a few times a year, every year around that time, just to see, just to gauge. And you know what? As the owner, I don't really blame him. I mean, I think that, you traded resources for Carson Wentz and not that many for the first or the former number 2 overall pick. And you trade for Carson Wentz, and he comes in, and the Colts, are 12-4, 13-3, or whatever this year, and they're rolling, and they make it to the Super Bowl or make a run in the playoffs, or whatever. then, maybe it's like, okay, then it goes from me calling Andrew Luck, if you're Irsay, me calling Andrew Luck to gauge if there's any interest, to just me calling Andrew Luck because I want to keep a relationship with the guy and I care about him and I want to check in on him. But I wouldn't be surprised if, for whatever reason, Wentz is broken like he was the past year or so in Philly, and he comes to Indy and he's the same way and they can't get it right. If, towards the end of the season or the beginning of 2022, Jim Irsay picks up the phone again. Hey, Andrew. Hey, man. That was early. That's early to do Irsay. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So when Peter King says the Colts, I wouldn't think that it would be from Frank Reich or from Chris Ballard, because their job is to focus on the here and now, and their job is to put together the best football team that they can, and they got to operate as such, and they don't really have time to waste trying to court Andrew Luck to come back out of retirement. But again, does it seem like something that Jim Irsay would do and probably do? Jimmy from the Colts, like that fake text was going around? Yeah, definitely it does. Shouldn't be surprising. That was scratchy, dude. Thanks, Connor. I appreciate that a lot, man. I like it. This jacket's fucking goes hard, dude. Will you try and hit Wrigley for Cards Cubs weekend this summer? Yeah, I hope so. The Barstool Chicago guys are supposed to be getting a new office. So I hope to come up here during the summertime. And I always try to come up during the summer to see my Cubbies and spend a weekend in Wrigleyville. So definitely try. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for watching. But yeah, so Colts, the dude retires August of 2019. He retired while I was on my bachelor party, actually in Chicago. And, the Colts are still doing their due diligence and checking in and seeing if there's any possibilities. So, you know what? Shouldn't come as a surprise, especially from up top, especially when Jim Irsay is the owner, that he's going to try in for 12. But now they got Wentz, and they're going to roll this way. And like I said, if it goes badly in the first year, may call again. And if it goes well, then maybe he can start to move on from Andrew Luck fully. But that's what it is right now. The NFL schedule was announced that it's going to be released on May 12th. So not only do we have the draft the last weekend of April, so by the time that the draft's all wrapped up, we'll be in May. We'll have our NFL fix. We'll be excited about that. But then 11 days later, we'll be able to say, "Oh, I get to see Joe Burrow play." I get to see Joe Burrow play Trevor Lawrence in week 2, and I get to see Najee Harris run for the Steelers against his old Alabama buddies in week 6, and you get to do all that. So you get more NFL fix on May 12th, another really, really exciting night. And you already know the opponents. But still, it's like, yeah, sure, the opponents, but then when you're like, oh man, we get Steelers Ravens the weekend before Thanksgiving, or like, you have those big, essentially the Christmas Day games for the NFL, right? Where, and honestly, I mean, we're starting to go that way. The NFL is going to start to do, games on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. They're going to switch up the teams that are on Thanksgiving, apparently. So it's not just the Lions and the Cowboys. I'm more of a traditional guy. So even though the Lions are shit, I get it. And the Cowboys are annoying, I get it. But still, it's like, that's just what you do. You have Thanksgiving, you like avoid your weird cousin, and you watch the Lions. I mean, that's just what happens. And then they're going to have Christmas Day games continually. They're going to say, hey, NBA, fuck y'all. We're gonna hop on this as well. So you got those, and then you got, just the doubleheader on Monday night, the first doubleheader on Monday night. So the opponents, but getting the schedule down, that's where you can start to plan out the trips, and you're like, oh yeah, this in November will be great, or on December, on Christmas Eve, these guys play, so that'll be hype, all those kind of things. So that's coming out May 12th. So circle your calendars for some more NFL action on that front. But that got me thinking. I saw that, and I wanted to do the best schedules. All right, or just rank the schedules. Okay, So because of the NFL schedule release, number 5 on the best schedule, I have to say would be your. So anytime it's like, hey, I'm on your schedule, you're kind of just trying to be nice and polite, and you're trying to give in a little bit, be a team player. Hey, whatever you want, man. I'm on your schedule. But also at the same time, you're kind of like, all right, I'm saying that, I'm being nice, I'm being polite, but I need you to not go too wild on me here because I'm just trying to, I'm at your place, so I can't really decide how we do things. So I'm just on your schedule. I already did enough to come to your place, but now I'm on your schedule. So, keep that in mind that I came up to your place. So now that I'm on your schedule, let's meet halfway a little bit, It can be nice to be on other people's schedules, but at the same time, a lot of times when you're on somebody else's schedule, that person is frustrating because they're either late or they take too long or they're really like antsy and they can't sit somewhere. And you're like, hey, we're just chilling. And he's like, yeah, I know. And you're like, hey, you know what? You're right. I'm on your schedule. So you never truly want to be on somebody else's schedule. So when you say that, it's, again, a courtesy, but you don't really mean it. Number 4, schedules. Dad on vacation. Kind of similar to your schedule. The only bonus out of this is that you're on vacation. So, if you're at Disney World or you're going on a road trip to go to Florida or you're in New York and, you want to see the sights and stuff, it's like, cool, I'm in this awesome place that's not home. I'm on vacation, so I'm not working or at school or whatever. But at the same time, the downfall here is that I'm on Dad's schedule. It's highly publicized in like TV shows and movies. I think of like Clark Griswold. Go on, kids. You got to keep it on the schedule. If we don't leave by 10 a.m., we're going to be way off schedule, honey. Luckily, my dad was never really like that too much, but I think my grandpa more so, like if we were having a big family vacation and we were driving, it was like, you better have your ass in the fucking car by like 4 a.m. sharp or we're leaving you. And then, we're only stopping 2 times and we got to make it to the condo by this time. And then we got dinner on the next night at this time. And we got to, it's just like, all right, don't mess with grandpa's schedule. But dads, they love to make that out. They love to make the road trip, to map it out on the road when you're driving. And they also love to put together the itinerary, their schedule of what they're going to do that day. And, all of a sudden it becomes dad vacation, which you're like, hey, this is all of our vacation. But then if you pout about it or you get grumpy and everything, then your dad gets sad or he gets pissed and then everybody's just not happy. So down on vacation, tough schedule. Next one, ring the schedule number 3. I said offense on schedule. It's always a good thing when you're watching your team play, you're watching an NFL game, and the dude says, the color analyst or the sideline reporter, yeah, you just got to be, if you're a Cowboys fan, you have to feel good because your offense is on schedule. You're not at second and third long, keeping the offense on schedule. You got to like this game plan, this scheme. And it's like, oh, nice. All right, we're rolling. Our coach is prepared. Our guys are playing well. We're on schedule. If your offense is not on schedule, then you're facing like 2nd and 12 and 3rd and 15, and you're like, oh, God, we can't get out of this. But your offense is on schedule, then it's just like continuous, like they got a good tempo. It's like 2nd and 3, you don't even ever get to 3rd down because your offense is so on schedule. You're constantly like 2nd and 5. It gives you options. Offense is on schedule. Yeah, that's a really good feeling. Don't even want to get to 3rd down, man. I want the schedule to be so on. What up? Sorry, I'm going through here before the last 2. Yeah, man, they should do that again. We got robbed of it last year. They should put the Steelers-Ravens on Thanksgiving again since we had that weird Wednesday game and all that shit. Absolutely. From John, Pitt trading up to 10 for Fields would be a Chiefs-esque move, having him a mentor under big – yeah, exactly, man. And if that's the case, if Fields starts falling out of that first 6 or 7, I that's when I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like holding on to the hair. I'm kind of like, this could actually happen. I'm cherishing it, because if he starts falling that way, then I wouldn't be surprised. Like we saw what they did with Devin Bush. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, what Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes. If they go up and do it, I really wouldn't. Great show. I missed beginning, traveled to Texas for work, and time change got me. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. From Jake, my favorite part of the NFL schedule release is when there are articles written projecting the win-loss record 4 months before a team start playing. Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it, dude. Like, that's going to happen, Like, I did it with the Steelers and actually nailed it. I said 12-4, and they were 12-4. And people in the comments on Barstool were making fun of me, calling me a douche because I said the Steelers were going to be 12-4, and then they went 12-4. So it's just like, unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast now. Like, people have to push out content. They have to push out to get clicks. And it's like, we hate it, Jake, but you would click on it, right? Whatever your favorite team is, if it's like, here's how I'm thinking the schedule will play out, you're just so hungry for content that you would click on it. And it's all right, because I click on it too. I click on all the Steelers ones from – the ones I write about it, but then even the people who cover them, like Caboli and everything, even like Fowler from ESPN, Ed Bichette, I click on them because I'm like, oh, these guys know. Like, it's good to get like a general lay of the land of how they're going to feel, how the team's going to do. I don't think this is actually PFT, because that wouldn't. I feel like that wouldn't make sense. But Joey versus Billy football, rough and rowdy, R&R, August 7th. Man, I already wrestled Billy football, man. I wrestled Billy football last August in the Barstool office, in the Barstool hallway, because I lost Mario Party. I had to wrestle him for 5 minutes, and it was not fun. He's a big dude, and I was like really out of shape then, and so that kind of already happened. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that come then. All right, schedule. So I have your schedule. Dad on vacation at 4. 3, offense on schedule. Ahead of the chains, on schedule, boom, 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 efficient. Number 2, no schedule, right? That's a good feeling when it's the weekend or you're on vacation and your dad's not being a crazy ass. You get like a day on the beach, got no schedule, got nothing to worry about. I don't got to be anywhere. I don't got to be on any calls. I don't got to be on any meetings. I'm on no schedule. That's pretty tough to beat. But then number 1, NFL release. I said it. That night is exciting. You get you get the whole layout of what you can expect, for your team that fall. What days you're going to be pissed off the following day, because the Steelers play in Denver on Sunday Night Football and they never win in Denver for some reason. And you're like, shit, well, that Monday is going to suck. And then you're like, oh, this could be hype the week before Thanksgiving. Like, they play this, and then they have the Thanksgiving game. Like, that's going to be a really fun week. And, oh, maybe we can go out here in October. Like, this would be a good game to go to, type of deal, It's exciting, man. Like I said, you got your new draft picks. Nothing like NFL release schedule. It's the best schedule release in sports. Baseball, too many. Who cares? Basketball, unless it's a Christmas Day games, who gives a rip? NFL, though, you get 17 of them. Got to cherish it, dude. Billy Madison style. You got to cherish that shit. So recapping, you got 5, your schedule. 4, dad's schedule on vacation. 3, offense on schedule. 2, no schedule. 1, the NFL schedule release. And that's how it goes, folks. That's how it goes. Baker Mayfield is like a cream pie with no cream, sir. Maybe it is PFT, I guess. I don't know. But then at the same time, if it was PFT, he's got my number. So I could verify that way. But we'll play it out. We'll see. You guys could be in the comment section with the ultimate commenter, with the man of all commenters, the commenter of all commenters, right there. Yeah. So Peter King says the Colts checked in with Luck before trading for Carson Wentz, and it's funny. I did a sketch of that, like, and just tongue in cheek, I was like, they probably, without knowing at the time, I was like, they had to have done that. They had to have done their due diligence, and they had to have given him a call. And I did an actual sketch of that, and then come to find out that's exactly what they did. Hey, Andrew. That is worse than Coach O, man. That is that is hard on the throat and the chest. Oh my God. Mr. Say. I'm enjoying He doesn't even say words to Ursay. I don't know what you're saying, man. Hey, you think you can just come back, man? I could use you, man. Hey, neighbor in the hotel. Whoops. Actually, I don't think we have a neighbor, but my wife is pissed because I'm screaming and doing Andrew Luck. Would you say where's Andrew Luck rank in your when I do voices?
Pretty high. I mean, he's like an OG voice of yours.
Yeah. What's the one that bothers you the most? Cowherd?
No. I don't know. Maybe
Okay, she can think
Collinsworth.
about it. You don't like Collinsworth?
No, I think that the voice is just drags on forever, and I don't know.
Yikes.
I mean, it's
tough,
good.
Tough crowd over here,
No,
man.
It's a good impression. I don't know.
It drags on, she says. Okay.
No. Like the way he speaks drags on.
Sure. Okay. That's fine. Nothing like going to the wife for some reassurance and then just getting fucking slammed, man. Yeah, Cubs are 2-0 since I came here. I don't think I'll move here, but if they don't win tonight, it is 1,000% my fault because they're 2-0 and kicking ass since I've been here, and I'm gonna leave, and then the whatever the Molinaro mojo or whatever it is, man, it's gonna go away, and then they're gonna drop this one, and they could sweep and get back to 500, and it's gonna be my fault. It's absolutely gonna be my fault. No, not a humble brag. He's a coworker, so I'm just trying to, say there is a way out there. There's a lot of imposters, I'm sure, of the man online. So, got to make sure. Yeah, well, college football too, and college football schedule, like, the schedule so far in advance, but then, like you said, you don't know times or anything like that, and so. That's always tough, and I know, like, with the prime time, you can kind of assume what the prime time games are going to be, and you can assume what the 3:30 kick will be and everything like that. You start to, like, pick up on the tendencies. But, yeah, I mean, when you have, like, Alabama, besides, like, the neutral site week 1 game where they play, like, somebody who's kind of good but not that good, like a Virginia Tech or something, besides they're like Florida State, besides that, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, they just play like fucking McNeese State and Alabama A&T or something. And so you're like, oh, I'm not too excited about those. You kind of have to college football. I mean, besides week 1 in college football where they try to get a real hype and everything, then the next 2 or 3 weeks really kind of suck, and then you get into October and you're like, all right, now we're cooking. And they don't suck because I watch every single minute of them. So don't get it twisted that way. Like, I love it. But, for a casual viewer, it's like, when there's only one maybe good primetime game that College Game Day has to force themselves to go to in like week 3, then you're like, I can miss this Saturday. But then you get to like the second week of October and everybody's playing and it's fucking incredible. So you don't make your own coffee. I need to send you some community coffee from Baton Rouge. That'd be great, man. I love coffee, any coffee I can get, so I'm always down. I have a Starbucks at my hotel that's like not even a block away. So I just, like I talked about in the morning, they, or not in the morning, yesterday morning on walks, when I did best walks, they, for me, number one, walking in the morning, a crisp ass morning to go get your coffee and bringing it back, and like you get to clear your mind, prep for the show for me in my instance. So I usually make it at home, but when I'm out on the road like this or something, I'll just walk down there and get it. From PFT, would you be open to bringing Antonio Brown back as a Steeler? Yeah, some need some more fireworks in that locker room. We need Big Ben and AB to reunite and bring back that old photo where they're both where Big Ben has that chain on and AB's in the wife beater. I don't know if you can say that. I don't know. The beater. We'll say beater. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Might as well. I mean, we lost to the Browns in the first round, so maybe if you bring Brown back, then that'll cancel it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I haven't gotten the text from PFT, so I'm going to keep operating as if this is just an imposter who has come into the comments on today's show. A recap, though. Like I said, Peter King says Colts checked in with Andrew Luck before trading for Carson Wentz, see if they'd come back. Andrew, NFL schedule release on May 12th. Indy 500 is going to be operating 40% capacity, so that's 135,000 people that we're luckily going to be able to have at IMS that weekend, but there's no carb day and no concerts, none of those events. But I'm going to put that upon myself. I'm going to take that upon myself for having over a month to plan something here. We got to get something going to keep the Carb Day tradition going. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know the details yet. But if it's not going to be at IMS, then something needs to happen because Carb Day is just too important to the people of Indianapolis. Best schedules, I go 5, your schedule, 4, dad schedule on vacation, 3, offense on schedule, 2, no schedule at all, and then 1, NFL schedule release. There you go. Cubs are 2-0. They're 1 game on 500, and they're I got a good feeling, man. I think that they're going to keep it rolling since I got this jacket. We'll take it as that. So instead of me being here and they're undefeated while I'm here, they're undefeated since I got this jacket. So I'm going to be rocking this jacket as well today, and they're going to beat the Mets. Going to be back to 500. Frank the Tank is going to be even more in the tank, saying that the Mets are garbage, which, like that highlight reel that I played earlier on, it is. Yeah, Samuel. Got it. You got it, buddy. So thanks for waking up with me this morning. I'm going to be back in Indy tomorrow for Friday's show. For those on YouTube, be sure to subscribe below, like the video. If you want some Barstool Indy merch, you should want it because it's selling like fucking hotcakes. Link below to buy it as well. For those watching on Twitter, catch up on youtube.com/c/cup of later on in the day. I appreciate you guys waking up with me. Have a good Thursday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow live at 9.